Hi, ladies and gents. My name is Thom Gibson, and today we are looking at the 3 best teaching tips for distance learning in the middle school classroom. The first tip that I have for you is to embrace the growth mindset that you're telling your students to embrace. What I mean by that is that you will have to take risks to see what works and what doesn't. You are going to try things that do not work, and you're going to try things that do work. But in order to find out what those things are, you have to experiment. I think a lot of times we as teachers don't really want to experiment because if something flops, it's like, ugh, now I look like an idiot. Now I'm bored. The kids are bored. This lesson didn't go well. I shouldn't have done this. I should have just tried the thing that I was originally going to try instead of this new thing that I wasn't sure how it was going to go. So to combat that, what I usually do when I'm trying something new, particularly right now when I'm trying out new websites and new platforms, is I'll tell the students, hey, I'm gonna try this new website. It may be awesome, it may be terrible, or it may be somewhere kind of in between. It might be bad this time, but maybe we can make some changes to it afterwards and then see if it could be better. And then at the end of the class, I ask students, okay, what did you like about that lesson? What did you like about that website? What did you not really like about it? Is it something that you would want to do again? Several things are happening when I'm having that conversation with students. The first thing is I'm inviting students in creating this learning experience together. I'm not just saying, this is what we're gonna do, whether you like it or not, but I'm saying, I'm trying this and I kind of want to know what y'all think and what your feelings are on it as you're working through this platform or this lesson or this project. I'm empowering them, I'm giving them some voice in their own education. And secondly, I am modeling that growth mindset to the students. I'm showing like, I'm okay making a mistake. I'm okay trying something that may not go well because I know that that's gonna be the only way that I can learn and grow and find out maybe things that will go well in the future. The growth mindset can't just be something that we tell our students in class that they have to embrace, be like, you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna learn from it and it's gonna be great. But we have to model that too because I think that's gonna be more of a lesson for them than us going through formal growth mindset lesson plans. And the third thing is it almost lets you off the hook if it doesn't go well. When you have that conversation, the kid's like, oh, that was terrible. Let's never do that again. He's like, okay, great. Thank you for that feedback. We tried it, and then maybe we'll try something else next class period. There's no like saving face or trying to justify yourself and like, well, the reason we did it is because this, and you can still tell the students like, I think this might be a good choice for us because of X, Y, and Z, but having that conversation kind of lets you off the hook. If things don't go well, they're like, well, he said that it was an experiment, so we now know that that's not something that we want to keep doing in class. So that's the first thing. Have a growth mindset when it comes to this new style of teaching and invite your students into that. Ask for their feedback, let them know what you're thinking, and tell them like, hey, we're gonna try something new and I wanna know what y'all think. The second tip I have has to do with the first thing in that you need to connect with other educators on social media. Most of the new things that I learn about what's working or what's not working in remote teaching or just in teaching in general, I am learning from other educators on social media. And so that's where I'm actually getting these ideas of what to try and what to experiment with in the classroom. Now, when I say connect with other teachers on social media, I'm not saying that you have to grow your own social media account and get people to pay attention to you. You can just be someone who's just an observer of different communities and seeing what people are talking about. I would say the place that I almost get an overwhelming amount of ideas and resources is Facebook groups. There's a Facebook group for literally everything when it comes to classrooms and education. I am new to physical science, 8th grade science this year, and so I joined 2 different Facebook groups. One was just focused on middle school science teachers. The other one was science teachers doing distance learning. And so when I joined those communities, I was able to see not only questions people were asking, I was able to ask a question to the community and usually get a good amount of resources and ideas and insights. Whereas sometimes where a platform like Twitter, if you ask a question, unless you have a lot of followers, it's harder to actually get people to respond to you and to engage with your question and give you ideas. So if you go to Facebook and you just search your topic, 7th grade math, and then see what comes up in groups, or 5th grade science, or middle school remote teaching, the more focused and niched the group is, the more valuable it's going to be to you. So it is valuable to join a group that's on math education, but there's gonna be a lot of conversations there that probably don't apply to you if someone's like, I have this question about teaching calculus, or I have this question about teaching first graders, and you teach 7th grade pre-algebra. So search broadly, but then look for the different groups that are there, and then I would join the ones that are most specific to what you teach. Twitter is good if you follow hashtags, but Twitter's a little bit more of a learning curve. And I know a lot of teachers are on Pinterest. I'm not actually on Pinterest as much because there's still more of that searching. And of course, YouTube, you can search for different things as well. But I think the fact that a Facebook group, you can have the audience that's already there that's very specific to what you are teaching, there to offer you advice, is a little bit easier to kind of get that more pointed feedback than some of the other platforms are, especially if you don't have a big Twitter following or a big Instagram following or anything like that. So that's my second tip. Connect with other educators on social media, particularly Facebook groups. My third teaching tip for distance learning in the middle school classroom is to give your students class jobs. Class jobs are super common at the elementary school level, not as common at the middle school level, but they are there. And if you are doing distance learning, it is a little more challenging to kind of come up with certain class jobs. But there is still an opportunity to give your students a role in your virtual classroom. A couple of the jobs that I created specifically for my virtual Zoom class include a chat moderator. I found that sometimes I was not seeing the questions in the chat, particularly if I was just looking at my presentation, and then the way Zoom works, sometimes you have to take extra steps just to pull the chat back up once you're screen sharing. And so having a student that always had the chat open and let me know if there was any questions, or if people were kind of getting out of control in the chat and going off topic, having a chat moderator kind of alleviated that responsibility from me, and it also gave that student a role in the classroom. Another job is my tech guru. The main role of the tech guru is they are my go-to person when I need a student to screen share something, because a lot of these platforms, the student view is different than the teacher view. And so the student screen shares, and then everyone can see, oh, that's what it's gonna look like when I go to that website and turn in this assignment. They also will help other students if they're having some technical difficulties. I might send them in a breakout room together, and having one student that they know how to screen share, it's not gonna take them a while. They're not gonna have to get computer permissions. Oh, my computer's not letting me. It says I have to put in a password. My parents are the only ones that know that password. And having that go-to person is super helpful. And for fun, I have a class DJ who is responsible for playing music whenever our Zoom class is starting as students are coming in. And so I met with them and just kind of said, okay, here's how you share computer audio only on Zoom. Let's figure out what volume your computer has to be at. Let's lower it a little bit so I can still hear people talking. Okay, that's a good volume. Do that every time that you're playing music. And so it's that one person, they know how to share their audio, they know the volume that it should be at so people can still hear each other, and they're prepared with a new song every day, and it helps build classroom culture, and it makes it more fun, and you're not just awkwardly sitting, how's everyone doing? How was your weekend? Oh, you didn't go anywhere? Cool, me neither. And you can of course still talk over the music and still build those relationships before class starts, but it gives that student a chance to kind of share their passion, as it's likely your DJ is going to be someone that is more into music and makes Zoom class more fun. And so that is my third tip, have student jobs. I have a link down below where you can get a PDF called 10 unique class jobs to tap into your students' interests. And these are 10 of my favorite class jobs. A lot of them you're able to do in person or remotely. And you'll see the chat moderator job on there, the tech guru job, the DJ job, as well as 7 other jobs that I really like having in my class. And you can get that PDF for free down in the link below. So to recap, my 3 teaching tips for distance learning in the middle school classroom are: 1, have a growth mindset when it comes to trying new things in this remote classroom and invite your kids into that. 2, connect with teachers on social media, particularly Facebook groups, to get more ideas and best practices. 3, start having classroom jobs to make your class a lot more fun to be in and take some of the responsibility off of you and put it onto the students. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you learned something today that'll help you give a meaningful and memorable experience to your students, even when you are teaching remotely. Subscribe if you'd like to stay in the loop with any upcoming videos. Check out the PDF link down below with 10 of my favorite classroom jobs, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.